Power works towards or against you, and most gets abused by this power.
Research shows that more people use anabolic steroids than heroin. In fact, steroids are becoming some of the most popular drugs out there.
And this is what we commonly see when we think of steroids and other powerful anabolics. Seeing bodybuilders and fitness enthusiasts taking these compounds to extremes, resulting in freakishly looking bodies and a host of side effects. And this is why most are scared to ever look into these compounds. But with self-control, awareness, and a strategy, I believe these compounds could unlock new levels of male life. With the ability to build muscle faster, stay shredded year-round, think smarter and more clearly, feeling stronger in your body, gaining respect from other men and attraction from other women, and ultimately allowing you to live the best male life and experience a male advantage. I'll be researching and experimenting with steroids and other anabolics with the intent in mind to max out male development, to push male life adaptation, and to overall allow man to live the best male life. So come on my journey as I'll do my best to share everything of how I learned about these, my strategy, my intention, everything I can do to be 100% transparent and show my research. Before I continue with this video, I must have a disclaimer. I am not a doctor. Any information in this video is purely for educational reasons. I talk about research peptides because myself am a researcher. In no way do I promote the use of research peptides for human or animal use. All my experiments are designed for myself and only me, and are conducted for pure research and does not have correlation to animal or human use. If you do want to use therapeutic peptides, I strongly recommend to work with a licensed physician so that you can have the best experience. By agreeing to watch this video, you understand this disclaimer. Thank you, and let's get straight into this video. I know I'm taking steroids, oh my goodness. Okay guys, it's not what you think. So let's go straight into episode 1 goals. So the goal is first research and blood work. Research will actually take a good amount of time, and you'll see in this video, because I'm putting my entire plan together. There's a way to do this in the smartest, most efficient way. So I'll be spending time doing that. And the second thing is blood work, because before I get too much into this, I want to check all my levels, just give a good baseline. And as well, I want to get lab work every month or so to really see my experiments and if I need to tweak things, change things, or stop things. So what led me to steroids? Well, I started lifting weights when I was 12 years old, and now I'm currently 27, so about 15 years. For the first 10 years, I just did working out and eating well, which I'm very, very thankful. Around year 11 and 12, I started looking into peptides and natural test boosters. I never played around with pro hormones when I was younger. That stuff was a bunch of crap. I'm very thankful. But peptides, I had a good experience with it, and as well as test boosters. And then I got into Enclomiphene Citrate, and I really enjoyed that. And I started going further and further. I was watching more videos on hormone replacement and steroids where an important message came across, and that is poison is in the dose. And once I really internalized that, I saw the benefits of how these other compounds such as oral steroids, testosterone, ACG, and even peptides could be used in a smart way by really understanding poison is in the dose. And as well, I'm an experimenter and a researcher, and I'm just so hungry to learn more, discover more about hormones, about power, and I think it's a very natural progression from natural to test booster to peptides to ACG to Enclomiphene, and now, this. And my goal with you guys is to be 100% transparent. I'm never gonna be that creator or that guy that's like, oh yeah, I'm not on steroids, or like, oh yeah, I'm not taking anything. I'm gonna show my blood work. I'm gonna show everything I'm doing with literally the intention of researching and experimenting, because I'm so hungry to max out male life and ultimately allow man to live the best male life. Because if you're jacked, you have better hormones, you're feeling good, you're recovering faster, you're gonna be thinking better, you're gonna be performing harder on your purpose, you're gonna be a better protector, provider, you're gonna feel better. Like, that's how I think about it. I really have this holistic health perspective, and then combine it with anabolics. Like, how badass is that? So why am I looking into taking steroids and other anabolics? Plain and simple, men, is the male advantage. I want to microdose and microcycle to get the biggest bang of my buck with the lowest side effect profile, and as well, I don't want to be super jacked. You must understand this, men. I'm not looking to become a bodybuilder. Literally 5 or 10 pounds with maybe 1 or 2% less body fat, that's it. And that will make a huge difference, and I believe to achieve that with my strategy in mind is actually very, very safe. So overall, the male advantage as well. I'm a male researcher. That's what I do for fun and it's my purpose. So here is my safe steroid 7-step plan. Number one, research. And when I say research, I mean fully understand the compounds, how they work, what they do, different body types, all that kind of stuff. 2, blood work and consistent blood work. I'm planning to get blood work done every month, maybe every 2 months, just depends on budget and time. 3 is expert's opinion, either a men's health clinician or a steroid expert. 4 is sourcing, making sure every single compound is up to the highest quality and the highest grade. Step 5, review and finalize. Now that I've done my research, got the expert's opinion, my blood work, is there anything I need to change or may want to change to make sure my starting point is the best? Step 6, implementation, will actually go through the cycle. And step 7 is to review and tweak. Because I'm new to this, I'm always learning, I'm testing boundaries. I may not be right the first time. I probably won't be right the first time, but it's important I learn from mistakes and I change the path to maximize the results. So now I want to touch on the power of microdosing and microcycling anabolics, which really got me into this. And here it is, man. I already said this multiple times in the video and I will continue to say it multiple times in the video. Poison is in the dose. And my intention is to use some of the safest anabolics with microdosing. So I'm microdosing the safer anabolics because, man, I don't want a ton of the power, just an edge. And this will allow me to look the best, experience the least amount of side effects, and spend the least amount on PEDs. Because if you're a bodybuilder, you may be spending thousands a month on PEDs. But since I'm microdosing and microcycling, I don't need that much. Another very important concept to understand, please watch this, is understanding the androgenic to anabolic ratio of each compound. And a very quick analogy to make this simple, when you think of anabolic, think of building muscle, the physique, having muscle burning fat. When you think of androgenic, it's more the sex hormone. Think of feeling and looking more like a man. So a deeper voice, maybe more facial hair, but at the same time, also the negatives, because that can be like hair loss, more acne. But I believe both are important to look at and understand to have the most enjoyable experience. And one important note, man, I wanted to talk about my lifestyle factors because I'm not just some guy who has never worked out, who's never taken care of his health and now just doing steroids. I do my best to take care of the best. You know, I'm not perfect. Not saying my way is the best way, but I really do my best to look and feel the best, and this is what I do. Every single day I work out for 2 hours and I lift weights probably 2, maybe 3 days of those weeks. The other days are just movement and rehab. I'm big into movement, I'm big into being pain-free and functional. At the same time, I want to be jacked. But every single day I'm working out. I meditate 4 to 7 times a week for 20 to 30 minutes. I eat a very clean and animal-based diet with fasting. So when I do eat, it's like a 1 to 2 pounds of meat with white rice or yams and some mixed berries. I get sun when I can. I use red light therapy when I can. I sleep 9 to 10 hours every single day. I do hot and cold therapy such as an ice bath, a hot tub, a sauna, and as well, I recently started getting IVs and injections. So a vitamin D injection, B12 injections, and IVs. So you can see I'm trying to max out as much as I can. But this has been my baseline and this will continue to be my baseline. So it's really important to know that if you think you can take anabolics and just get jacked or be super healthy, you're missing a huge thing. These lifestyle factors are so critical to maximizing the benefits and at the same time reducing side effects. So let's get into the anabolics that I will be researching, potentially using. The first is Anavar. Anavar is an oral steroid that has been around since 1962 and was originally used to help patients with muscle wasting. And some interesting notes on Anavar is that it has a great bioavailability. It's one of the more mild steroids when it comes to side effects. Third, this is very important, it has a 10-to-1 anabolic to androgenic ratio, meaning 10 anabolic, 1 androgenic, meaning that this compound is very potent at building muscle and burning fat. And because of the lower androgenic ratio, Anavar promotes less side effects that other steroids would produce, such as hair loss, acne, increase in estrogen. However, though, Anavar can still cause hair loss in sensitive individuals, which is commonly reported in the steroid community. And another key point is that when it was used in medical treatment, they would do 2.5 to 20 milligrams for 2 to 4 weeks. And that was the therapeutic range, 2 to 4 weeks for 2.5 to 20 milligrams, most commonly on the 5 to 10 milligram side. Where in bodybuilders, we're seeing bodybuilders do this to 50 to 100 milligrams for 8 to 12 weeks long. So up to 5 to 10 times the medical dose and a 2 to 3 times of cycling. This is why I believe there's so many side effects. But personally, I'm planning to use this compound in 5 milligram ratios in a 3-week cycle. So really following what the medical range was given when it was first created. The next anabolic is testosterone, and this one I'm unsure of, but I do see the benefit, especially when microdosing, especially when having other hormone supporters. And here are a couple of reasons of why I'm considering testosterone. First, last time I got checked, my testosterone levels were 700. I think it'd be ideal to keep my levels at 1,000. The second thing is testosterone is considered the safest steroid, because yes, it is still a steroid, but steroid experts consider testosterone the safest steroid. The second thing, it has a 1-to-1 anabolic to androgenic ratio. So there is a benefit of feeling more like a man, where I think Anavar will make me look more like a man. I feel testosterone will make me feel more like a man, like having that deeper voice, maybe, you know, like more facial hair. And another reason is my main goal is to become the most badass man. And I think, you know, if we can promote it, support it in multiple ways in microdosing, like some ACG, some Anavar, some testosterone, I think that would give me the best experience. So coming back to my conclusion, I wouldn't want to do, you know, 150 units a week, which is very common, maybe just 50 to 100 units, you know, for 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off. Again, guys, this is my theory on it. My entire point is to get my levels consistently at 1,000 with the least amount of suppression, which later on you'll be learning I'll be using ACG and clonopine herbs to prevent any unwanted side effects. But overall, I can see how adding a little bit of testosterone can be very advantageous and beneficial for my research goal. Now let's get into ACG, which I'm very pumped to explore. And these are gonna be hormone supporters that'll be used just to make sure my body stays on, it stays strong, and as well will maximize the anabolics at the same time staying safe. So ACG is actually a synthetic version of luteinizing hormone. And luteinizing hormone goes into your testes and tells your testes to make more semen, bigger testicle size, enhanced penis size, better libido. Pretty much it keeps your nuts full and healthy. But ACG is just a more stable and longer lasting form of luteinizing hormone. ACG is commonly used with people who are on testosterone or on steroids to make sure they stay fertile and to make sure their nuts stay on. And as well, I've seen ACG taken alone just for the benefits. And this is in a different section, but for penis experiments, ACG helps with penis size and testicle size, which for penis enlargement, that could be very beneficial. But overall, I'll be using ACG regardless to help with penis size, fertility, and to make sure my body stays strong during the Anavar and testosterone. Next is Enclomiphene Citrate, which I have in a video in depth on this compound, but here's a short summary. Enclomiphene Citrate comes from Clomid. It's an isomer of Clomid, and what this does, it blocks a negative feedback loop for a short period of time because estrogen tells your body to stop making more hormones. So it tells your body that you don't have enough estrogen, so it ramps up the hormonal production. And one good thing about enclomiphene, it has a short half-life, and as well, it does not add a buildup of estrogen, which is what Clomid did because Clomid had zooklonopine. And the last main reason why I like this is that it works differently in the testosterone cascade because testosterone actually starts in the brain. So enclomiphene works on that area, the pituitary gland, where ACG works more on your nuts. So you'll later learn I'll be switching out enclomiphene and ACG just to make sure I'm getting stimulus from multiple parts of my testosterone cascade. And this is also why I'm adding testosterone, because I just think having a little bit of all three will really make a synergistic effect. Next hormone supporter is the most natural hormone supporter and strongest hormone supporter out there, and that is the masculine medicine. So I'm a big believer in like cures like so. This supplement, I made it myself, I take it myself, big believer in it, but it has testicle and heart and liver, but especially testicle, as well as the best herbs and vitamins to have good healthy tea. Yes, man, this won't be nearly as strong as Anavar or testosterone or ACG. It's not meant to be, but overall, you know, I think if you have the mindset of not leaving out the natural stuff, you're missing out. But masculine medicine, I believe, is definitely a big hormone supporter that I'll be taking continuously with my cycles or without my cycles. Now let's go into peptides / bridge cycling. So this is a new term I learned, but pretty much bridge cycling means you have this main cycle and then you have a bridge cycle to get to your next main cycle. And I think peptides could be such a great way for a bridge cycle for multiple reasons. So when I'm thinking of bridge cycle, you're gonna later learn, I'm thinking of running like my powerful anabolics for like 3 weeks on, then having like 2 weeks off. And during that 2 weeks, I could do peptides, and then I could do back to my Anavar testosterone. So the first two peptides I'll be combining will be Tesamorelin with Ipamorelin, which Tesamorelin is a GHRH and Ipamorelin is a GHRP. I have videos on my channel going in depth, but having the nice increase in endogenous growth hormone, I believe, can be very beneficial. A common analogy I like is growth hormone will create new cells and testosterone will blow them up. And this is especially beneficial because this is endogenous. So these peptides help my body do the work. And as well, I don't want too much growth hormone because too much growth hormone can lead to side effects. Next peptide is going to be BPC 157 and TB 500. This is another one of my favorite blends. BPC and TB 500 have a great synergistic effect. And additionally, BPC 157 enhances growth hormone receptors, so will enhance the growth hormone peptides. But overall, BPC 157, TB 500, Ipamorelin, Tesamorelin is such a powerful way to enhance growth hormone and heal the body. And you must keep in mind, this is gonna be my bridge cycle. And the last new peptide, which I'm looking into, is PEG-MGF, which pretty much attaches to your satellite stem cells to help with muscle recovery. So I could see how this peptide could be very beneficial to really hit hard muscle recovery during my bridge cycle or just my peptide cycle in general. Now let's go into side effect prevention, starting with the blood. We're doing blood and hair because taking anabolics, peptides, all that kind of stuff will alter some things. But my theory is, first, I'm doing a very small cycle, but I'm going above and beyond because that's just who I am. And also it's an experiment. I want to see, how safe I can be when playing with these compounds. First is a natural diuretic because from my research and experience, peptides as well as steroids potentially can lead to more water retention. So I'm currently taking a natural diuretic with dandelion root. So I got two separate, there's like a blend. I literally typed on Amazon, natural diuretic. I got that, it's called like water away. And then I got dandelion root. So together, just to have better facial lines, and just also I don't want a lot of water retention. Next is DIM, which is actually classified as a phytoestrogen, and pretty much this is very commonly used in the bodybuilding community and steroid community to reduce estrogen levels, because as your body makes more hormones, it makes all hormones. So I may have an increase in estrogen, but I'll make sure I'm being smart and keeping that at bay by taking DIM. Next is calcium D-glutamate. And pretty much this helps my body remove excess hormones and sex hormones and to prevent the recycling, because since my body will be more anabolic and androgenic, I will have more hormones, and too much can lead to toxicity in the body. So calcium D-glutamate does a great way at flushing those out before they reach the kidney and start doing damage. And one important note that's coming from Vigorous Steve is that you don't want to take too much because we do need some sex hormones, which later in the implementation, I'll be going over the dosing that he was recommending to still get that sweet spot of removing a good amount, but not too much, because again, we do need some sex hormones for use. Next noteworthy supplement is citrus bergamot, which is commonly used in the bodybuilding community to protect lipid levels, because steroids can alter lipid levels. So I will be taking citrus bergamot. And again, you must realize that I'm taking such a small amount, and even Vigorous Steve was saying that 5 milligrams should not really alter your blood levels. But again, I'm being extra safe. Next is krill oil and fish oil. These both have a lot of benefits, but really when it comes to helping manage my lipid levels, again, a common theme you'll see is that your lipid levels can be altered from steroid use. So krill oil and fish oil are commonly used in the bodybuilding community to help with side effect. Next is Astragalus, which actually is a root, and this root shows a very nephroprotective property, so helping with the kidney. Because when someone uses a lot of anabolics and SARMs, it can put a lot of stress on the kidney, and this is one root that's been used heavily in bodybuilding because it helps with that. Again, I don't expect my kidney to have a lot of stress because I'm doing such a small amount, but again, I want to include it in, and I will be taking it, especially if I see changes in my blood work. Now let's go into side effect prevention for hair, because men, I want to keep my hair. That's probably a big concern for many men, and I don't have enough money for a hair transplant. So this is what I'll be doing in the meantime until I get a hair transplant. So even if I got a hair transplant, I'll probably still continue doing these things just to make sure my hair transplant stays healthy and stays full. First is a peptide called PTD-DBM. This is actually a peptide I've been using for about 2 months now. Pretty much what it does, it rescues hair follicles. So it doesn't block DHT, it literally allows hair to come back to life. And it's even been shown that this peptide works on dead areas. It's a topical peptide. I actually like it over GHK-KU. I've been seeing more benefit, but this is one topical peptide I'll be using to help with hair growth. Next is rosemary oil. With rosemary oil has commonly said to be just as powerful as minoxidil. So I'll be applying that topically to my head as well. I like it way better than minoxidil. Personally, it smells way better, it feels way better, and overall I really enjoy it. And one note when applying any topical that I've just learned recently is when applying it, put it on your head and then tilt your head back. Don't actually rub it into your hair, because then your hair will get oily. And you actually want to focus on the scalp, because the scalp health is what matters, not the hair health. A healthy scalp because a healthy hair. Let the oil sink in as well to prevent oily hair. Next is red light therapy. Red light therapy will help with blood flow. I'm a big fan of using the eye restore, especially after a microneedling session to help with faster recovery time. Which going into that, microneedling. So I have a microneedling gun. I do it at 1.5 mm, maybe once a week or every 10 days because it does take time to heal. But microneedling has been shown to greatly increase collagen production and hair production. And as well, I would like to enhance the absorption of like rosemary oil or PTD-DBM after microneedling, because at that point, my hair will be very receptive to taking any kind of compound in. Next will be natural shampoos and conditioners. I used to be kind of against shampooing and conditioners, but I've actually switched to an all natural one. It has like rosemary oil, tea tree oil. And I'm like, this is actually very nourishing for my hair. And I actually notice benefit when I do use a natural shampoo and conditioner. But that's a great way to add good nutrients to the hair. And then I combine that with scalp brushing. So scalp brushing is in the shower. So it helps you move the scalp back and forth. So that first helps bring more blood flow, and as well, it helps to rub in the shampoo and conditioner deeper into the scalp. So as you can see, all these things are actually really good for the hair. So regardless if I get a hair transplant or not, I'm going to continue to do these. And one thing about all these things take months to see results. And especially when it comes to hair loss, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Because if you wait too soon, it's just very, very hard. But then you get a hair transplant. So, all right, guys, now let's get into implementation. This video is getting long. I told you I did a lot of research and just thinking. I'm still gonna do a lot more just to make sure what I'm doing is the best route. Starting off with the dosing and cycling for the anabolics. So my plan is I'll be doing 5 milligrams of Anavar for 3 weeks on, 2 weeks off. And then for testosterone, I'll be doing 50 to 100 micrograms per week for 4 weeks on and 2 to 4 weeks off. And pretty much my goal with testosterone is to get my levels up to 1,000. Of course, I'll be seeing how I feel, but I don't want anything more than 1,000, maybe 1,100, but 1,000 is the sweet spot for me. Now for the hormone supporters. For ACG, I'll be starting off with 250 IUs 2 to 3 times a week for 2 weeks. I may be increasing that up to 500 IUs, maybe 750 IUs per dose, but a lot of it will be determined on my blood work and as well just how I feel, because I'm a firm believer with all these more powerful anabolics, you want to find that sweet spot where you get the best stimulus with the least amount. So I'm starting slow and working up. So I'll be doing that for 2 weeks. And then after those 2 weeks, I'll be switching to Enclomiphene Citrate because it works differently in the testosterone cascade. And I'll be doing 12.5 milligrams 2 to 3 times a week for 2 weeks. And then I'll go back to ACG, or I may take a week off. But regardless, I'll be using ACG and Enclomiphene consistently. And then lastly, I'll be taking the masculine medicine 3 weeks on, 1 week off, which have all the herbs and vitamins. And I believe this to be probably one of the best ways to make sure my body stays strong and full. And again, man, a lot of this is me theorizing. I still need to talk to an expert. I still need to reach out to a doctor. I still need to see how I feel. But the whole entire goal is to have levels of 1,000, be more anabolic, and stay full, safe, and fertile. Now let's get into the dosing and cycling for the peptides. So I plan to do Tesamorelin and Ipamorelin at 600 micrograms of Testosterone and 200 micrograms of Ipamorelin. I may do more, but the reason I'm starting slow, man, is that I just don't want to get too big. That's my biggest thing. And I'll be doing that on my bridge cycle, which that will be for 2 weeks. I'll be doing 3 to 4 weeks of anabolics, and during my bridge cycle, I'll be doing peptides. So a 2 to 3 week bridge cycle of doing Testosterone and Ipamorelin, 600, 200 micrograms, 3 to 4 times a week. BPC, TP 500 mix, 400 to 400 of each, 3 to 4 times a week, and then PEG-MGF, 300 to 500 micrograms, 2 to 3 times a week. And the reason why I'm doing that less frequently is that PEG-MGF really works best when you have lower levels of growth hormone because they compete with the same receptors. So I would do it more on my recovery days. And I would do that again for 2 to 3 weeks. So pretty much, guys, I'm only doing peptides on my bridge cycle because first, I don't want to get too big, and second, I don't want to do too many injections because I may be injecting the testosterone, I may be injecting the ACG. I'm trying to keep things simple, and as well, I do like the rotation of different mechanisms in the body. That's also why you see I'm rotating the ACG and the Enclomiphene. I just think it will help the body stay fresh. Now here is my dosing and cycling for the side effect prevention. All these will pretty much be taken year round just because as I plan to get more into bodybuilding and as I just become more anabolic, I think all this is just smart to do. First, natural diuretic, I'll be taking that daily pretty much in the morning. For DIM, which helps reduce estrogen, I'll be doing 200 milligrams 2 to 3 times a week. A common theme you'll see is that I won't be taking my side effect prevention daily just because I don't think I need it because I'm just doing such a small dose, but I still will be taking them. And then for calcium D-glutamate, which helps reduce the recycling of sex hormones to your kidney, I'll be doing 1,000 milligrams 2 to 4 times a week. For citrus bergamot, which helps with the lipid levels, I'll be doing around 1,000 milligrams 2 to 3 times a week with meals. For krill oil and fish oil, these really help target the lipid levels. They also have other benefits, but I'll do about 1 gram of krill oil and 3 grams of fish oil 3 to 4 times a week with a meal. For astragalus, which helps a lot with the kidney, I'll be doing 4 grams 2 to 3 times a week. And with this root, in the bodybuilding community, they say more is better. There's some people doing up to 20 grams a day when they're like really blasting some hardcore anabolics. But again, since I'm microdosing and microcycling, I don't really need to do that much. And one thing about all these for blood work prevention is that a lot of these will change and adapt based off my blood work. If for some reason I feel I need more or less, I will modify that. And that will be later down the episodes when you see me reflecting and changing my experiments. Now let's go into my implementation for the hair loss stuff. So for PTD-DBM, which is a topical peptide, I probably do that 2 to 3 times a week. I really try to do that after a shower so there's no oils in my hair, especially after microneedling. For rosemary oil, I do that 2 to 3 times a week. It's important to know with all of these, I literally drop on my head and let it sit back. And I don't mix it into my hair. I want to sit in my scalp because that is where I want to target my scalp, not my hair. And one benefit, many have told me I smelled amazing because I got rosemary oil on my head and it just smells very refreshing to be around. For red light therapy, I'll be doing that every other day, so about 3 to 4 times a week. For microneedling, about once a week, maybe every 10 days. I really don't want to overdo it because you're literally causing little damage to your scalp. Like using a 1.5 mm needle can cause some damage, which is what you want, but the main benefit is from healing. It's not from damaging your body, it's from the recovery aspect of it. I'll be scalp brushing maybe 2 times a week. I only scalp brush when I shampoo, so I might shampoo 2 times a week, maybe 3 times a week. It just depends on the week and what I'm doing. All right, so that concludes episode 1. So as you can see, I've been compiling this research for maybe about a month now, just like contemplating, thinking. And again, this is not finalized, but this is everything I've learned so far. So the next steps for episode 2 is to review my blood work because I did get some blood work done. I don't have the results back yet, but I'm gonna review the blood work. I'm gonna talk to an expert and I have him think about, okay, this is my plan. What are your thoughts on it? I'm actually thinking about hiring Vigorous Steve. So hopefully he'll be on the channel and talk to me about it because I'm sure he's a very smart man and will give me some great advice, or another steroid expert. And then I'll be sourcing everything and get a nice final review and finalizing everything. And then I'll be going straight into actually implementation. So implementation actually won't happen until episode 3, but episode 2 is gonna be a lot. You're gonna see my blood work. You're gonna see what the expert says. Like a lot could change. I'm really pumped for it. And also I'm just pumped for this journey. I have a good idea, but you know, there's so much to learn, so much to experiment. I'm super pumped. I'm doing my best to be the safest and smartest. But as well, it's so cool that I can share this with you because there's so much just to learn out there. Anyways, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the future episode. Have an amazing day and stick around for future videos.